You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh man. Yeah, I'd rather be doing yesterday's game. You know, the game that I had to miss. Unfortunately, another wedding. But dear, good Lord, people. That 18-3. 18-3. What the hell happened? Welcome into the show. This is your Locked On Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. I'll be taking you through all this and just having a boatload of fun when it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies going into the All-Star break. And you know what? The term break after like 18-3, it's a funny game, right? I said in the first game of this series, I didn't like the way they played, Ranger Suarez and all that stuff, and I didn't like it. And it's one game, but every single post-game show, every single postcast is just its own isolated show. It's not a whole season evaluation. Today we might do a little bit more of that, but it's not a whole thing of evaluation. I'm not going to judge one series off one game, you know? So then they come out yesterday, and they handle their business. Their offense is alive and well. You have Tyler Phillips going out there and doing one hell of a job out there starting for the Phils, right? First big league start, right? That's great. Family's on hand. Everything's wonderful. Phillies are hitting home runs. Trey Turner's hitting a home run. Nick Castellanos coming up with a big home run. Everyone, it was great. And they score 11 runs. All right, so I thought today they would, all right, I don't like the idea of a bullpen game, more or less, but they go with it. It works a little bit. And then the wheels just totally came off, and it was terrible. And most of it happened on Michael Mercado's dime. But if you score 18 runs, I'm not going to blame just one pitcher, but oh my goodness gracious, the wheels came off the wagon right before the All-Star break. There is one great thing, and it's going to be number one when I get to three big things. There's one great thing, and I loved hearing it, and I just want to keep on hearing it, and we'll talk about it in a second. But first, I will tell you that this show, this Locked On Phillies postcast, is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rival city. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. Three big things. Number one, I understand 18-3. We'll get to it. We'll talk about it. We'll dissect it, right? But the big story to come out of this game, if you watch the Phillies home broadcast, of course, on NBC Sports Philadelphia, you heard maybe my dear friend Taryn Hatcher. Taryn Nicole, right, from South Jersey, Taryn, she reported that Mason Miller, relief pitcher extraordinaire, closer extraordinaire, yes, is going to be worth a hefty price tag. He is, in fact, hitching a ride to the All-Star game in Texas. He's hitching a ride with Matt Strahm and Jeff Hoffman. He's hitching a ride with the Phillies All-Star relievers. Now, I don't think he's on the same plane as Bryce Harper, because I guarantee you he gets onto that plane. If he gets on the plane with Bryce Harper and they have a little alone time, right? They're all on the plane together and they're all talking and they're all chopping it up, having themselves a wonderful time and becoming best buds and all that. I guarantee you he goes onto that plane. If he is riding with Bryce Harper, he gets onto that plane in Oakland Athletic. He gets off that plane to Philadelphia Philly. That's how it's going to go down, ladies and gentlemen. And I want it. Oh, man, I want every inch of that. 104 miles per hour? Yeah, I think I want that. I want to take Jeff Hoffman. I want to take Orion Kerkering, SerAnthony Domingez, Jose Alvarado a little bit, bump them up. Hey, your job is going to be to pitch 7th, 8th inning. This guy's got the 9th. The 9th is his. The door is his to slam shut. It's going to cost you, especially if you get an early deal done. You try to get ahead of it. Oh, it's going to cost you. You're going to be parting ways with some of your top prospects, maybe more than one, to get Mason Miller at the back end. Because if you're the Oakland A's, what good is a closer to you if you don't have any games to close? So it only behooves them, wildly behooves them, to make a move, to move him before the deadline. I know the posturing, it all happens now. The posturing all happens now. Oh, no, we're not moving him. We're not moving. He's going to stay right here. So I'd like to see him be a Philly. And all I really got out of today's game, especially after the grand slam, off Garrett Stubbs, that should be illegal. Like, that should only count for like 2 runs. If you hit a grand slam off a position player, especially if he's throwing 37 miles an hour, shouldn't count. But anyway, would love to see Mason Miller. I know you'd like to see Mason Miller in a Phillies uniform, and hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. As for Brent Rooker, number 2, we're just going to talk about the home runs. Let's just get to the home runs, okay? Oh, wait, hold on a second. Somebody's leaving the field now? I just went to go up here. Here we go. Hold on. Polar Buck. What's going on, Polar Buck? Leaving the field now. I have to believe that Topper wanted the A's to know what it feels like to be the Phillies. There you go. It was a sale. The whole thing today was a sales pitch. That's all it was. Look how many home runs you can hit at Citizens Bank Park there, Brent Rooker. So let's get to Brent Rooker. You see it up there in the graphic. 2 long home runs for him. A 250-foot shot and a 452-foot shot. But here's the franchise record for the Oakland A's. Now, I know it's a little blurry. I'm sorry. I got this off our friends over there at Barstool, who I think got it off of, I don't know, Fox Sports Bay Area. I don't know. But anyway, the Oakland A's had a franchise record, 8 home runs. It ties a franchise record, 8 home runs in the game. Need I remind you, the A's used to have a team that featured 2 players named the Bash Brothers and Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire that we all know were just roiding up like crazy. And they're helping out, I'm sure, in this 8 home runs, right? But these home runs were majestic. 6 of these home runs travel over 400 feet. You have a 449. Let's see, but 6 of them travel over 420 feet, even more impressive. And multi-hit home run games galore. Terrible again. But look at these numbers there for the Oakland A's, and you see all those home runs. But you have a multi-home run game by Brown, Rooker, Butler had 3 home runs in this game today. It was just a drubbing. It was every ounce of a drubbing. But the question we have to ask ourselves isn't how many times the Phillies are going to lose 18-3 this season. The question we have to ask ourselves is, what is the need on this roster, and who can address these needs the Phillies have on the Oakland A's? Because in this series, I think we saw the best you could get when it comes to Mason Miller. I think you saw a great bat you could get in this lineup when it comes to Brent Rooker and what he was able to do in this game. I know they were making a little bit of fun of it during the game today when they talk about his defense. In essence, yes, he is a designated hitter. Whether or not he is up for playing more in a corner outfield spot, we shall see. If you have Johan Rojas in center field, or even if you have Brandon Marsh in center field, and you have Brent Rooker playing left field for you, you're going to have a lot of ground being covered. It's a lot of the same thing that we talked about with Kyle Schwarber being out there in left field. He's not a position player. He's a designated hitter. Brent Rooker, 29 years old, is probably in that same regard. More athletic, most likely, from what I've seen of him in the limited highlights I've watched of him in the outfield in his career. Yeah, he gets around a little bit better than Kyle Schwarber, a former catcher, does. So I would love to see him get that opportunity here in Philadelphia, especially if he's going to be belting balls 450 feet. If this was supposed to be an audition for Dave Dombrowski, Brent Rooker, and Mason Miller, oh, they aced it. If there was supposed to be some kind of test, what could they do in South Philly? Oh, they aced that test throughout this series. It sucks right now for the Phillies. It's still a franchise record, 62 wins before the All-Star break, which is great. They had a chance to get to 63, obviously, which would have been a record, and they weren't able to get to it. This whole game, and this brings me to number 3. So, look, number 1, Mason Miller being on the flight. Number 2, Brent Rooker. Number 3, this whole game today just looked like the Phillies were done. It felt like Trey Turner got that home run in the first inning of the game, I think it was. Going back, first inning home run, his 7th home run in the month of July, his 11th home run on the season. Yes, scorching hot. That was one of his that was one of 2 hits that he had today. So he had half the Phillies hits. He goes out there today, gets you that run, and I think the Phillies was like, all right, maybe we'll tack on a couple more. We'll get out of here, take 2 or 3 from the A's, go to the All-Star break, kick our feet up, and everything will be fine and dandy. And when we come back, we'll just rock. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. The Phillies got tattooed, and Michael Mercado, we'll get to him coming up in a minute here, but Michael Mercado in particular left a lot to be desired. 4 innings of work, 6 runs, 5 hits, 3 home runs surrendered, as well as 3 walks, struck out 2. I do not understand why he came back out for the 5th inning. I don't get it. You have the bullpen available. You're going into the All-Star break. Why would you have Michael Mercado continue to pitch? Now, you could just say, who cares? You got 62 wins under your belt. A loss to the A's in July isn't going to bother you at the end of the year. You could very well say that. But what about the young man's confidence? Get him out of the game. What about trying to stay in the game? You have him come out there again for the inning. He gives it the home run to Butler, which is a 2-run home run. That went from a 2-1 ball game to a 4-1 ball game as well. And I'm like, Topper, what, do you not like this guy? He's getting his bell rung out there. Then they bring in Domingez. Domingez couldn't get anything going, unfortunately. It was just one rough pitch from Michael Mercado after another in this ball game tonight. And I feel bad. I feel bad for him because his manager let him out to dry in this game. And that wasn't a very nice thing to do. For Rob Thomson. When we come back, we'll run through the game, talk about it, get your takes on the game as well. That's all when we come back here. Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies postcast. You guys have heard me talking plenty about Booking.com. Yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for your baseball teams and going to your baseball teams' games across the country, it's time to explore those U.S. cities that always secretly maybe you wanted to learn more about. And yeah, I am talking about your rival cities as well. I didn't really spend much time in Atlanta, then finally made a trip down there using Booking.com. Loved the result. Booking.com was fantastic for me and my wife. We had a great time down there. Hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals. They also have resorts, so much more as well on Booking.com. You might just find that perfect stay in that rival city. I have used Booking.com for Atlanta, for Chicago, for Boston, New York, both in Flushing and the Bronx, right? And Booking.com is never disappointed. From hotels that look over stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices and so many great things across the United States for your summer travel baseball season. This, right now, you can stay. Right now, if you're a fan of your ball team and you want to follow them around the country, you could stay in a rival city right now and enjoy all they have to offer. Book today at Booking.com, on site, or at the Booking.com app. Booking.com, yeah. Supplyhouse.com. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade. Supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is a reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts. What? Yes. And from over 400 top brands. Get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, get an expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and you talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining Supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade professionals already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM. That's supplyhouse.com/TM, and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere, just a few clicks away at supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. Before we dissect the game, I do want to hear what you guys have to say about all this, because it is bonkers. John Marinelli, what's going on? Watching the Phillies get humiliated. Wasn't how I wanted to spend my Sunday. Me neither. IBH, couldn't take it anymore. I bailed. Talk about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah. IBH, thank you, Buddy Christ. What? Thank Buddy Christ. It's time for the All-Star break. Now I get it. That's great. Falcons strike 21. The All-Star game started a day early this year. Yeah, that break certainly did. Hey, Justin Crawford had a hit in the Futures game, 1 for 3. Aiden Miller had 0 for 1 with an RBI. There you go, fella. Shame nobody told the fans the game started or the break started early. Yeah, that was embarrassing, Dr. MP. 6-1, I turned it off. Okay. All right, go after Rooker, says Zach Murphy. We're all on the same page right there. Rooker or Miller, how about both? The price is going to be high. I will say that. Can't hardly wait for Topper's interview, says Frank Donchez. What's going on? Other than a few hanging pitches in the strike zone, we did get some neat Casty basketball shirts. I wonder if Nick can get his bat on a basketball. But hey, look, Nick Castellanos will say this. He's been a lot better over the last month plus. If you told me that you're going to have Nick Castellanos hitting around 270 for you, I'm happy. And that's what he's been doing over the last month plus of the season. So I'll take that. Polar Buck, you can blame all the pitchers. All right, with that, let me get into it now. I don't know what the heck happened here, but see if I can pull these notes up for you because I like my notes more than what like ESPN gives you. You know what I'm saying? That was Ratchy the other day. Is this it? Did I write on the right? I did. I'm an idiot. Here we go. All right. So Kerkering starts it out. He goes against Estes. Chris Siegel's behind the plate. Turner leads, gets the home run. Second at bat, 2-2 slider in. He puts a 372 down the line. It's 1-0 Phillies. Then let's just jump right ahead to the fourth inning. Rooker goes up there, gets the home run, makes it 2-1. It was a 1-2 pitch. He put 450 feet right over the batter's eye. What I was expecting Shohei Ohtani to do in the Dodgers series, you know what actually ended up happening? It was Rooker that ended up putting one over the batter's eye on the Ashburn Alley. What's nice about Ashburn Alley is usually you have to pay if you want a souvenir at Ashburn Alley. But Brent Rooker was like, I got you, Philly. I'll just give you some free souvenirs. And he did that. 2 separate 450-foot blasts. The first one made it a 2-1 game. That was off of Michael Mercado. In the fifth inning, he gives up a home run to Butler. That one was to center field, a 2-2 inside fastball that he just turned on and belted 429 feet to center field, made it a 4-1 game. Then you still had Mercado in the game. In the sixth inning, he walks Blade on, I believe it was 5 pitches. Then he goes up against Rooker. Rooker jumps on a fastball, another center field home run, 452 feet. This one makes it a 6-1 game. And then at that point, and only that point, after giving you the second, third, fourth, fifth inning, so he gave you 4 innings, you decide to trot him back out there for the 6th. And that's when that's when our pets' heads were falling off. And you see that happen 6-1. Then Brown hits a home run on a low inside sinker. Actually, a terrible pitch, but he belted it out there off the SerAnthony Domingez. 7-1 game. Stott gets you the 2-run play on the miscue there by the A's on a sac fly to left center field. There was the miscue where they threw to third and nobody was there. I think it was Harris was supposed to be on third. Andujar was in second. It was in left field. Fielded it and made the right play. They surrendered the run. And then he wanted to prevent Bohm from going to second to third. And Harris butchered it. He was in the wrong spots. All the young kids know the situation. That made it a 7-3 ball game. And then the Phillies just continued to implode after that. So looking at the box score real quick here, okay? Kerkering, perfect. Mercado, not. Dominguez, 4 runs surrendered. Matt Strom, 2/3 of an inning, got a strikeout, 8 pitches, fine. Ruiz, 3 runs. Garrett Stubbs in 1 inning for Ruiz. Garrett Stubbs, 1 run, 1 inning, 5 earned runs, the grand salami, a walk, 25 pitches. Sweet sassy Molassie, that was terrible. All right, back to you guys. Just flush it and forget about it. Enjoy the break. Go Sixers. I think that's exactly what they are going to do. Zach Murphy, we've been behooved, Farsi. Right? Falcons strike 21. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Excuse me. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. A scored 20 on Miami, 19 on Baltimore last week, and 18 today. You know what? That's a great point. My A's bias, that's funny. They have been on a bit of a roll. That's a great point. They did just shellac the Orioles. Buddy Christ, time for a break. Ouch. Everyone hits us. Not woohoo. That is pretty funny. Dr. MP, straight trash performance against the worst team in baseball. Phillies are doing that great thing again where they play down to their opponents, and that kind of sucks. Spurger King, just like this game, the Athletics have the Phillies baseballless. Oh, baseballs in a vice grip. I got you now. They have stud power hitting outfielder and a super closer and starter. Dombrowski needs to get these guys. I would love to see them in a Phillies uniform as soon as humanly possible. Star Wars 99. I don't care what it takes. Need Rooker. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'd love to see it. It was one hell of a display. Dean, Hart Scramble, Rooker, Miller trade the farm for him. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all in, and that's what the Phillies are doing. They are all in, and if you're truly all in, you're going to go get those guys. And look, in all honesty, the losing 2 or 3 to the A's, let's not make any mistakes about it. It sucks. Losing 18-3 to the A's also sucks. Missing out on a record 63rd win before the All-Star break also sucks. I still think this Phillies team's going to the World Series. I still, number one, want them to get a back end of the bullpen guy. Whether that's Mason Miller would be my top choice. It is going to cost a lot. And then I want another bat in this lineup. Bellinger getting dinged out there in Chicago. That's one option that might be off the board for a little bit. Have to see how he comes back. But Brent Rooker right now, it's hard to look any other place other than Brent Rooker in the trade market. When we come back, we'll take a look at the week ahead when it comes to the Phillies not being back in action until this Friday. We'll get into that conversation and take a couple of more comments as well. You're Locked On Phillies postcast, the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. The Game Time app. It's going to be a while before the Phillies are back in town, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're traveling, perhaps you're booking a stay in Pittsburgh on Booking.com, huh? Well, get your tickets to go see the Phillies play against the Pittsburgh Pirates on the Game Time app. Yeah, that's right. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer you get to the first pitch with killer last-minute deals. You can view your seat before you buy it, so you take the guesswork out of buying tickets and the guaranteed lowest price on the tickets. That's the Game Time guarantee. What does that mean? That means if you find tickets in the same section or row for less money elsewhere, the Game Time app will get you back at 110% of the difference. Lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit your account 110% of the difference. They have the flash ticket deals, the zone ticket deals, the all-in pricing. You can toggle this feature so it shows you the total price up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Lowest price guaranteed. Game Time coverage also is the best and most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So once again, take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redemption code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. That's how amazing they are in the Game Time app. You got to love it. All right. What a disgrace. Get your ass kicked by the worst team in baseball. We're all having fun, aren't we? They did throw out a bullpen game today, which I hate that bullpen games are a thing, but hey, we need them for some reason in baseball. Anyway, so here's the deal with the Phillies. They are off officially. They have the All-Star Game. Alec Boehm's going to be taking part in the Home Run Derby tomorrow. Then Tuesday, the Phillies All-Stars, all 8 of them, well, 7 of them, because Wheeler's on the mend. But, yeah, Christopher Sanchez making the All-Star Game is awesome. But the Phillies will have their record All-Stars in action Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. in Texas. Then after that, Friday, they open up a 3-game series in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. Most likely see Paul Skeens out there, so that'll be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing that action. And then they go from Pittsburgh, a 3-game series. Then they go to Minnesota for a 3-game series. So they literally have their first 6 games back from the All-Star break. All 6 of those games are on the road. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Pittsburgh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Minnesota, Thursday, travel day. And then they come home for 6 games, and they have a 3-game set against the Cleveland Guardians, and then a 3-game set against the New York Yankees. This is a very tough stretch. Now, the Yankees have been pretty terrible. Minnesota is a good baseball team. The Pirates coming around the corner with some pitching for themselves. See how that goes. But the Yankees, I still make no mistake about it, after the horrendous run that they were on, they, unlike the Phillies, go into the All-Star break on a good note, because they actually won 2 or 3 against the Baltimore Orioles. But the Yankees will be coming into South Philly. Seattle, obviously, they're a first-place team out there in the West. Then the Dodgers, you got the Dodgers. Then you got the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then you got Miami for another series with the Marlins. Whoop-de-doo. Coming back from the All-Star break, you get right back into the thick of things, especially when you're talking about the Twins, the Guardians, and the Yankees. The Pirates are 1 game under 500 at the All-Star break. Phillies 62-34 on the season, matching a franchise record for wins before the All-Star break. Not too shabby. I'll be back with you guys for all those games. I look forward to it. Don't have time off for a while, so don't you worry about the wedding season is officially off the books. So I'll be with you guys as things really start to heat up. A couple other things from this game that I wanted to get into, some bright spots, if you will. Looking at Bryson Stott over the last couple of weeks, he has caused a lot of concern. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's worth reiterating. Apparently, the Phillies have told Bryson Stott to be more aggressive and be less passive at the plate. I feel like that is some really bad advice for Bryson Stott. Sure, when you look at a guy like Rhys Hoskins when he was here in Philadelphia, the whole thing they did with the Gabe Kapler era was make him be less aggressive and be a hell of a lot more selective. And he passed up on a lot of pitches that he either could have put into the stands or put into the gap with a runner on second base or a runner on first, just to work a walk and make the pitcher work a little bit more. I feel like that really did Rhys Hoskins a huge disservice. Now, Bryson Stott does not have the power that Rhys Hoskins has, obviously, but his natural approach is being patient. And I don't know if they're just trying to shake him up and just get something going for him, being that he is now going into the All-Star break with a very disappointing, surprisingly disappointing, .238 batting average and a .326 on base percentage. Those are horrendous for Bryson Stott. And now you look at him in the early goings of July, what you have seen from him so far is none too impressive. 220 in the month of July, 241 in June, 190 over the last week, and 234 over the last month. So I don't know if they're just trying to put the quarter in and get something going in his brain, but the production just has not been there this year for Bryson Stott. I don't know how he gets out of it, but I don't think it's him going up there and just trying to jump on first pitch fastballs. I think he's at his best when he's able to work counts. Now, that didn't work in the first half of the season before the All-Star break. Hopefully in the second half, he shuts it down, comes back, hits the reset button, and we see that Bryson Stott that we saw for the vast majority of last season. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Be back with you guys after the All-Star break. Until then, enjoy. Enjoy the Phillies taking part. Enjoy all the All-Star game has to offer. See you when we get back from the break.